Now we're going to start the last round of skills for this topic. We have been finding the least common denominator. We have been creating equivalent fractions to add and subtract fractions. We've been working on simplifying, and we've also been estimating sums and differences of fractions and mixed numbers. And so now we're going to actually be moving on to adding and subtracting mixed numbers. So we learned that mixed numbers, which we've also done, we've done improper fractions to mixed numbers and mixed numbers to improper fractions. A mixed number is when you have a whole number and a fraction, so it's mixed together. Okay. I know this says adding and subtracting mixed numbers. It is the same process if you do not have to carry or you do not have to borrow. So I am going to be doing this as adding, and then tomorrow I'm going to focus on borrowing with subtraction. Okay. So I'm going to fill in these notes, and you can use it if you do not have to subtract. It's the same process. But we'll be working on borrowing like you would when you have a whole number for subtracting the mixed numbers. So this is number 45 in your notes. And we are going to fill out this notes. And then I have 4 examples I'm going to work on with you. And then you'll work on your work online. Okay. So once you've glued that in, we're going to go over these steps. If the denominators are unlike, find the least common multiple of each denominator, or our least common denominator, right? So our LCM, we've been practicing this in our group as well. We would go 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and I'm just going to keep going until I run out of room, 28. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. All right, and I'm going to go and find the ones that they have in common. So the smallest number that they have in common is 20. So my least common multiple is going to be 20, or my least common denominator, which is what we've been calling it. Okay, so now I want to change 1/4, and notice I'm not looking at my whole numbers yet. I'm just doing my fractions. So don't worry about your whole numbers right now, okay? All I'm doing is my fractions, which is exactly what we've been doing in the past. So I want to change this to 20 and this to 20, okay? So I say, what times 5 is 20? Well, that would be 4. Now you have to do the same to the top, just like the bottom, to make sure that you have it even. That's that jealous sibling that wants the same thing, so you have to make sure you do the same. And then 4 times 5 is 20, and 1 times 5 is 5. So now I'm going to rewrite my new fractions here and make sure that we are bringing these down, okay? So I have 8 and 5 20ths, and I'll make sure I write next to the right fraction, and 16 20ths, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add. If I remember, when I add fractions, I keep the bottom number the same, and I add the top, okay? Then I have 8 plus 2 is 10. Uh-oh, I can't keep it like this. This is an improper fraction. What do I do now? I have an improper fraction, but I have a whole number. This is how you would do it, okay? So this is going to be, let's see here. Let's break this apart. How much would be a whole? A whole would be 20 out of 20, right? Any number over itself would be 1. Well, what would I have left over? I would have 1/20. So if I break this apart to have 1 whole, it'd be 20 20ths, and then I have this 1/20th left over. Okay, so this is 1. And then I have my 10, which makes 11. And then I want to make sure I bring down my extra little remainder. And that is how you would do it with regrouping. Okay, this is called regrouping. So you're going to rewrite the equation. Let's see here. So we find the LCD. We convert the fractions. This is what we've been doing. And then we rewrite the equation. Okay, this is where it is new. Add the whole numbers, add our numerators, and keep the denominators the same. Okay, so this is the same. This is the same. But this is where it gets different. Okay, so let's go over here and see. Sometimes you don't have to do this. Sometimes you have a regular fraction, and you might have to reduce, and that's it. Okay, so let's go over here and I want you to write these down. These are your practice problems that I'm going to do with you. They are not, you do not need to turn them in. They are just going to be something that we work on together for some examples because I feel like this needs a lot of examples. All right, so we're going to find our least common denominator of 6 and 3. So we're adding 3 1/6 plus 5 2/3. Okay? So 6 and 3. I'm going to do 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 3, 6. Oh, I can stop right there. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we're going to change them to 6. Ooh, 1/6 does not need to be changed. So I'm going to say, okay, 3 times 2 and 2 times 2. All right, I'm going to rewrite this now. So it's 3 1/6 plus 5 4/6. Okay? I add my whole numbers. I add my fractions. That is a proper fraction, and that is my answer. 8 5/6. Now, if I had to reduce that, I would reduce that, but I do not need to do that in this problem. Okay, our next one is 4 1/10 and 6 1/2. So let's find the least common denominator of 10 and 2. Okay, I'm going to start with the smallest number right now. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. 10. Oh, I don't even have to go any further. So we have 10. I don't need to change this, but I do need to change this number. 2 times 5 is 10, and 1 times 5 is 5. So let's rewrite this. This would be 4 1/10 plus 6 5/10. Now, I like to write it like this instead of a cross because it allows me to line up my fractions and my whole numbers. I don't like to do it across like this over here. I don't like to do it like that because I can't line up my things that I need to be adding. Okay, so this would be 10 6/10. Now, I'm going to check if I need to simplify. Do I need to simplify? So I take my 6 and my 10. Okay, actually we don't need that. 1 times 6, 2 times 3, 1 times 10, and 2 times 5. So they have 2 in common. I can divide 10 6/10. I keep my 10, no matter what. And this would be 3/5. So my answer is 10 3/5. Now, if you put 10 6/10, this is not simplified, but that is an answer. 10 6/10 and 10 3/5 are the same. This is just simplified. Okay. All right, our next one is 9 7/12 and 4 3/4. So we're going to find the least common denominator of 12 and 4. So I'm going to do 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. Okay. 12. Well, we don't have to go any further. 12. Okay. So this can stay the same. And we're going to change this to 12. This will be 9/12. So now I have 9 7/12 plus 4 9/12. All right, this is going to help us with our regrouping. I have 13. And this will be 16/12. Okay. I have to break this apart, so be 13. I'll break this apart. We have 12/12 and 4/12 would make our 16/12. Okay, so I'm going to bring this over here. That's going to be 13 plus 1, which is 14, and 4/12. This is my answer, but let's simplify. Okay. So I say 4, 1 times 4 and 2 times 2, 12, 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. So we have 4. Okay. We can divide 14 and 4 twelfths, divide it by 4, and my answer is 14 and 1/3. That is simplified. Okay. All right, Mrs. Ray made a little bit of a mistake on this when I was filming, so I'm going to rewrite this here. Okay, if I don't have anything here and I'm adding, that is okay. If I'm subtracting, then I have to change something, and that's what we're going to be talking about with borrowing on tomorrow. So it's just 1/8 and 8. So that would be my answer. You just pretend like this is 0. 0 plus 1/8 would be 1/8. So my answer is 8 1/8.